Happy Friday! It's the last Friday in April. I'm sitting here, Maggie's over here to my side, and she's wearing a harness because I want her to train her. I want her to be comfortable wearing a harness just in case one day I want to take her outside. Which is really a scary idea to me because she's been an indoor cat all her life, and the shelter recommends that cats be indoor animals only. And I don't know, I want to be outside and I want her to be with me. I think she'd like it. I'm afraid she'd like it too much. I'm afraid it wouldn't be safe. But I bought her a harness months ago, so figure there's no harm in putting it on her every once in a while so she just gets used to it. I read the process. I read someone's suggestions of the steps to take in order to train your animal to be on a leash. I don't know if this was just for cats or not, but the recommendation was like put the harness on them, let them be comfortable, move around in the harness for a while, see that it's safe, it's not gonna choke them or hurt them and attack them. Um, do that for a little while, and then the next step is to another day add the harness and the leash, and then just let the leash drag around the house, like following them. That might be scary actually, but just to get acquainted with a leash being attached to them, and then like you hold the leash is the next step with your cat with you in the harness. And then of course the last step is going out with your cat on the leash, probably for a very short period of time first. Let them sniff some things, let them feel the air, and then come back inside. So I probably will never take her outside on a harness and leash, but it would be really nice if I could take her to the back porch, which I'm kind of afraid to do without having her on a leash because I live on a it's a slow speed limit, but it's a high traffic street. And she's never been outside before. She doesn't know how cars work. She doesn't know how darkness works. She doesn't know how other cats in the neighborhood work. So there's the risk to her factor, and then there's also the what if she likes it too much and wants to be outside all the time and she doesn't want to come inside, or what if she does come inside but then she's like, meh, I want to go out, I want to go out, meh, all the time. She's already a very vocal cat. She meh, meh, meow, meow. She's a very vocal cat. So I don't know why I have a harness on her. That's a long 3.5 minute story. But it's something I wanted to talk about, I guess. Something else I should talk about. I am, as of today, teaching a brand new class, sort of brand new. So at the school where I teach yoga, one of the classes that I teach is a lunchtime class for the teachers on Mondays. There's a lunchtime class every day, different kinds of classes. So there's another yoga class on Fridays lunchtime. That teacher asked me if I would take over for the rest of the quarter. So now I'm teaching the Monday and the Friday lunchtime classes for teachers. So I subbed for them on the first day of the quarter, and now I'm teaching for them starting today. And so I'm pretty excited about that. I love being at school, and spring is a beautiful quarter to be out. It's actually come to my attention. I want to ask and see if I can teach outdoors sometimes, not in the gym, but next to the gym. That would be fun to do yoga on the grass or something. I don't know if we would feel awkward, like we were being watched by the students as they passed by on their way to class. That might, I don't know. Anyway, what else? And I've been cooking a lot. Oh, I got a food processor. Oh my god, so cool. Food processor. So it chops all your food for you, as big or minced as you want them to be, and it takes like 4 seconds. Um, so, so I've been cooking, making all sorts of different things with that, and my friend Missy helps me cook. And so the last thing we made together was this. After I tasted it, I was like, oh, this is like tuna salad or chicken salad. Or, no, potato salad. That's what it's like. It's like potato salad, but it's all protein. It's basically mashed up garbanzo beans, chickpeas, with minced celery and sweet relish and mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise. Actually, I used regular mayonnaise because I'm not really vegan. I'm just not supposed to have any dairy, milk, cow milk products. I wish I was clear about whether it really is just cow milk products. Like, can I have goat cheese? Because that would be nice. Goat cheese has been fairly easy to avoid, but I would enjoy some if I knew it wasn't on the restricted list. There's some things that are on my restricted list that, let's say restricted is a very loose term. Like I had a piece of pizza today, 2, with cheese on them. Sometimes I get pizza without cheese on it, but Baker had leftover pizza in the fridge, so I was like, you gonna eat this? And then I ate it. Yeah. So, what else? Balance, you know. You can't restrict yourself all the time. I just have a lot less cheese than what I would have if I was allowed to have it. At least that's what I think. Maybe if I was allowed to have cheese, I would never have it. That doesn't sound right. No, I like cheese a lot. What else? It's the end of the month. Oh, I'm going to California. I'm going to California for my first week of my summer break. I actually get a 1-week summer break, and then I teach a summer quarter, and then I get 2 months of summer break, which is like, oh, that's super awesome, because there's a lot of fun things to do in the summer, and also, oh, hey, I'm not going to get paid those 2 months. Whoops. What else? I've been trying to read a lot. I have a lot of books from the library, a lot of cookbooks. I've been looking through some vegan cookbooks. Vegan cookbooks. So I'm going to explain again that I'm not vegan. You will see me eat meat. You will see me eat cheese. But I like cooking vegan. Well, for one, I feel like it's safer, more sanitary. I feel like it's more sanitary. I don't know all the rules food safety wise about meat. I mean, I know like keep it separate, wash it, don't touch things when there's meat juice on your hands. But that's impossible. So I like it better when I'm not cooking meat, or when I can just push all the meat off of the package without touching it, and then put the fork in the sink. I hope that's okay. But yeah, okay, so 1, sanitary concerns. For 2, the environment, because how much water and fuel does it take for me to receive a pound of steak? It's ridiculous compared to what it takes to get a cup full of garbanzo beans, and I enjoy garbanzo beans. I think everyone should have as many fruits and vegetables and legumes and nuts and seeds, so I guess that's legumes, as they can. Um, I don't know how much of a result this is of me having good vegan food at home all the time in my fridge that I made myself from scratch with my friend. So I don't know if it's how much of it is. I'm lost. So I don't know how much of it is because of the food itself and how much of it is just all the other things I do in my life, like the yoga and the breathing practices and the journaling and the other physical and mental things that I do. But I'm definitely going to give credit to the food and say that it is satisfying. Like, I will have my chickpea salad on a bun with lettuce and tomato, and I'm like, oh, that's good. And I'm not hungry anymore. And I won't be hungry for hours, if ever. So, this works. So I've just been feeling really low appetite, and I think it's like my body being like, "Oh, you're trying to be healthy now. Oh, okay. Let me process this first then." I hope that's what it's saying. I hope it's saying, "Oh, you realize you don't need to take 2,000 calories in every day? Like, great. Let's burn the fuel that we already have." So that's really cool. Um, I'm not starving myself. I'm not like ignoring hunger pains or anything along those lines. I'm just not getting hungry. Actually, like, I'm just feeling the food in my stomach. And it's nice because it's not like I feel it in my stomach because I'm full and uncomfortable. It's like I feel it in my stomach because there's an abundance of awesome food in my life, and I'm just satisfied knowing that my next meal is going to be good and easy and convenient and cheap and good for the environment. Um, so, yeah, I think there's definitely physical reaction going, and it's just, I've heard it before, but in one of the yoga books that I'm reading right now, it talks about the body mind. Not the body, not the mind, not the body and the mind. It calls it the body mind. And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I I like moving. I like dancing. I like doing yoga. I don't always know what I'm thinking, but I always know what I'm feeling. And all it takes, if it's not up there in my consciousness already, all it takes to figure out what I'm thinking is, or feeling, or thinking or feeling, is, okay, is there a physical sensation? Is there tightness in the chest? Is there vibration in the belly? Is there tensing in the throat? Is there clenching of the jaw? Am I sticking my butt out? Is my weight in my heels? Is my weight in my toes? Yeah, am I leaning forward? Am I leaning back? Am I twisted? Not just, I guess, the physical appearance, but the internal sensation. Like, can I feel my pulse? Can I feel my breathing? Did I just sigh? Is my breath short and shallow and quick? Yeah. Body mind. That's nice. It is Friday at 4:48. I'm so spoiled. I really am spoiled. Um, so a typical day for me is like, get up, go to yoga, teach for a couple hours, come back home around lunchtime, and then either run errands for the dance studio, email people for the dance studio, call people for the dance studio, buy something for the dance studio, check on the dance studio, ignore the dance studio, or this is, of course, after lunch, after have warmed up my vegan meal. And sometimes it's not a vegan meal, sometimes it's a hot dog or cookies. And okay, so check in on the studio, and then do the laundry, cuddle with my cat. If it's nice outside, read a book on my back deck. Take my yoga mat out to the back deck, do some yoga study. Yeah, so I have a lot of freedom in my day. And don't get me wrong, my to-do list is long. Yeah, I wish I was checking more things off a day, but no, not really. I feel like I do things pretty appropriately timed. Like, I don't need to get 20 things done in a day. Usually 5 to 10 is enough. And I'm counting things that are on my to-do list and things that aren't really on my to-do list, like laundry and dishes and showering and cooking and petting the cat. But all in all, I don't think I can feel too guilty about the way I spend my time. I do feel like I lose a lot of time just checking things on Facebook. And it's not even checking things on Facebook. It's like usually I'll have an intention to email someone, but I might have to reference it back to something that's on Facebook, like something on the dance page or the yoga page or something looking for, like, are there any cool shows happening this weekend? I look to Facebook to do other things because I'm talking to a friend or something. Anyway, yeah, I don't know actually. I spend a lot of time just being, just taking the dishes out. I don't know, I keep saying dishes. I feel like there's always dishes to do. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky, pretty happy. And I love learning about yoga. It's so cool. I don't know, I just, the when I read about yoga, I hear people's voices, and I don't know, I know what they're talking about. I feel what they're talking about. And if I don't at the time that I read it, like, as I practice yoga and as I live life, I start to see their perspectives better, something that they said that stuck with me because I wanted to understand it better. What do they mean by this or that? How is this true? How is this not true? Because I believe everything is true and everything is also... Well, I believe that everything is true at some point, in some situation. So this is black and this is white, and this is gray. Sometimes, depending on the million other factors involved. What happened earlier in my day, or what time so-and-so left the house, or how cloudy it is. I don't know, there's a ton of factors, I feel. Everything affects everything, so you can't leave anything out. Yeah. So, I also feel as I'm reading these books and doing these things, I'm feeling my tempo. When I pick up a book and I read it like they're never fiction books. It's always like a, well, these all happen to be yoga books. But these are kind of like reference books. These aren't really books you read from cover to cover. Or sometimes there's like a section at the front of the book that explains what yoga is and in some amount of detail, and then the rest of the book is a reference book where I just like, oh, let me look in the index and see where Virabhadrasana 2 is. What do they have to say about Virabhadrasana 2? Okay, that's what they're telling me about Virabhadrasana 2. I'd like to share this piece with my students. I think that this piece is important. I think that this answers a question I've had. I think that they do this differently, and I see why, and I'm going to try it, and I still like the way I'm doing it for my purposes. This is not a yoga book. This is A Course in Miracles. Actually, it's kind of a yoga book, but not yoga asana, not the physical practice. This is philosophical, how to be a satisfied human. Breath helps me. Sometimes I find myself doing it all the time, just sighing, or lion's breath, or the bellows breath, the panting. Or plank pose. Just when I have, especially since my body is doing this thing where it's like, oh, you're trying to be healthy now, you are actually feeding me nutrients now, okay, well then I guess I can get rid of this crap that I was saving, not in my shoulder, in my tummy mostly. But I have a lot of energy. I feel like I want to go running, but I hate running. I should probably go to a Zumba class or something like that. I can jump. I can jump pretty well. I like jumping. And this is not a tattoo, Mom. Don't freak out. This is, well, it is a tattoo, but it's a temporary stick on. It was a heart. Oh, I can't. There it is. I can't. It's a heart with some like pretty vine things around it. It's just I've worn it for. It's been on for. It's been on for over a week now, so it's kind of starting to scratch off, and it got dark for some reason. But yeah, breath, plank pose, headstand, crow pose. I'm like on the beginner side of the arm balances. I'm pretty close to handstand. I've got headstand down. Tripod I've done before, and I just haven't really practiced it. There's one, I think it's called Elephant. That one's fun. Yeah. So I'm in the beginner forearm balances. It's scary not having your feet on the floor. I always think I'm gonna like fall and bend my wrist like, the way it's not supposed to go. And or I'm gonna land on my neck and just be like, ah. Or just roll over and fall, like not roll, but just fall flat back. I don't know why I think that would happen. But yeah, inversions are scary, but they're really good for when you've got that energy to burn. Yeah. Ew, I just found a bookmark that my ex-boyfriend gave me. He made this. He painted it, and he wrote something pretty on the back. It's a good quote. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you find yourself doing the impossible. That's nice. I still don't like you. It was his birthday 2 days ago. Yay, happy birthday. I wonder what his life is like. No idea. We live in the same small town, and I never bump into him, and I am glad. I don't want, but that's one of the things I love about being here is that I bump into people all the time. Like, people I recognize. I hate it when I recognize someone, but I can't remember your name. Can't remember your name. Sometimes I can remember the first letter that your name starts with. But most of the time I'm like, I don't know where I know you from and I don't know your name. Sometimes I say hi anyway, and sometimes I'm just like, I would be embarrassed. I actually got rejected from a fraternity, business fraternity, because I didn't say hi to the other brothers enough. Which I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't trying to be friends with any of you. But I'm trying to get better at names. And I love recognizing people on the street. Most of the time I'm like, I know you from dance, from yoga, from the Humane Society, from Animals as Natural Therapy, from... It's just cool that that's where I know people from. I think, like, volunteering with animals, dancing, or doing yoga. Like, that's how I know 70% of the people I know. Yeah, that's nice. Well, I've been rambling. It's almost been a half hour. This was a really good talk. Thanks for listening. I miss you. Sorry that I don't know, I don't feel like I'm as good on the phone. No, that's not true. I'm fine on the phone. Maybe it's just the initial making the phone call and seeing if they're busy. Well, we should talk, because I'd like to talk to you. I want to hear from you. Your turn. Call me. Okay. Bye.